I'm sitting here going, well, hello and welcome. I've got this stream happening tonight due to this tiny little thing. I actually went to buy and bought it just so I could stream tonight. So we're putting all of our faith into that. So, whoa, fingers crossed, toes crossed, everything crossed that we can get through what we need. I've got the internet man coming tomorrow to have a look because it's not doing, you'll probably hear it clicking in the background. It's trying to do whatever it does, but it's not. But anyway, welcome everybody, and we have a lot to get through as usual. So let's start. Hello. So again, welcome. So thank you for everyone who's asking after me. I was not, I had a bit of a rest this afternoon. I'm finding that if I have a bit of a rest, I'm okay. But at the moment, you know, like I knew that there was something wrong with me, and I had a suspicion that it was that I had lost all the iron. That was the iron and ferritin that I had, and sure enough, it was. So it's funny how you sort of know your body, and the doctor sort of said, "Yep, we've got to just do your." Yeah, we're going to have another iron infusion. So I think August last year was the last time I had one. So anyway, at least I get to know everybody, know the drill. And I'm sorry that I'm 2 minutes early and I threw everyone, but I've been sitting here like for about half an hour waiting to go, and it's like, I'm bored. I just want to get this started because there's so much to talk about. Because as I said, the Sun and KJ are stating different facts. In fact, she's changed again. In fact, she's brought another Duggar into the picture on her Instagram today. So we've got two girls and three guys. So in the mix. Oh, I'm confused. Two girls, two guys. I don't know. But it's crazy. I cannot work anything out. Dominic says, you know, you can start at any time. Yeah, I know, but I try to be nice to everybody. I mean, Harrison wants me to start at 8 o'clock. He also wants me to rename my channel to Harrison. And, yeah, so I'm under a bit of pressure at the moment. Peter says, oh, good, I was in the bathroom, heard your voice. I've been 3 times. Face palm protection needed, peoples. Grab your oven mitts. I think so, Sammy J. Yes. And there's 2 Insta Lives. One Insta Live is about one of her videos not getting the attention. And we're going to watch 2 of her Without a Crystal Ball videos because you have to see them to believe them. Seriously. Like, if I was to sit here and to tell you what happened, you wouldn't believe. No, you may do, but I think you've got to see it to believe it. I've created monster. I'll certainly have. You should hear. I'm going to have to tell you during one of my streams the rules he's written out for this competition too. And how it's all going to be drawn. It's all going to be very strict. So yeah, he's actually quite excited. So we're going to seek permission for him to be on one video. So anyway, so let's get started with this because, as I said, there's a lot to get through and hopefully my little internet will survive. But if I drop out, I apologize in advance. So she shared this. So she said, so Distractify has their own idea that Jeremiah is courting Katie Nakatsu, which could be true. Thoughts? So wait, where did Jeremiah come from? I thought she was linked to James and then Jed. It's starting to feel like, so she's been linked to lots of, so not only are counting on fans convinced that Jed and Lauren are heading down the aisle, even though they haven't announced they're courting, we suspect that his twin brother, Jeremiah Duggar, has a big announcement of his own. So last night she was saying that Jed was associated to both Katie and Lauren. Well, now it's his twin that's associated with Katie. See, I told you it was so confusing. I'm so confused. Can somebody make this make sense? Hi, Rick. All right. Is this the video? No. So without a large family photo shows by fan accounts show Jeremiah standing awfully close to this young lady. Who is it? Poppy Seeds rescued you from your slumber. Cool. So this Duggar thing is getting like unbelievable. So Justin and Claire hired a videographer for their wedding, first kiss at the end. I wonder if TLC didn't film it. So Jeremiah is the twin of the other guy. There's Jedediah and Jeremiah. They're twins. Maybe she's right and they just swing, maybe. Oh dear, it's like confusing, seriously. So it's blurry, but that's David Waller in the background, so he officiated. He's a fundie, according to KJ. All right. All right, the cults of Duggars and Dr. Phil exposed. All right, this is what we're going to start with. We're back on to that again. Hang on. Yes, she was in camo today. Yep. Amy Rachel King says cute tea. I'm assuming it's one of hers. Laura says, why can't she say she doesn't have a clue what's going on? Well, because that would be saying that she doesn't have a clue what's going on. All right, so this is about the cults again. Just a warning. You've got to watch this one, then watch the other one, and then we'll go and we'll look at Twitter, and then we're going to see, we'll look at, there's two videos that we're going to look at. One is on this Duggar thing, and the other one is on Hilaria Baldwin, because that one, they were quite, I found them to be not very nice, and yeah, they actually upset me a lot. So just normal. All right, so let's have a look at this one.
Hey guys, hi, it's Katie, your favorite friend, vlogger. I'm finishing out
It's Katie, your favorite friend, blogger. Oh, she's a blogger, allegedly, according to her own words. I think a boy named Jedediah has to. None of those things, Kristen. None of those things. She's none of those. So wait, are we friends, Katie? Someone called Salts. I have no friends. Talking about salts, he asks whether there's a new filing. I said no. I said, oh, we haven't got a new filing yet. And he says, can you tell Salts? He says, I need to ring Saltsy and tell him to hurry up because Auntie Joe needs to read out the filing. So apparently he's going to ring Saltsy. So, hey, the Abba chick. Yeah.
Video right now. It is about Dr. Phil. And I had a really insightful conversation today with a survivor from the Institute of Basic Life Principles that went through the Alert Academy, which is the academy that the Duggars send all of their kids to. And it's like a reform.
So now she's here telling us that she's got this new source. And I reckon, yeah, the only thing is you don't get the comments on here because there's a few interesting comments. But yes, so she's got a new source now. Which source is that? I mean, I know Linda, our Linda, who didn't comment on the video yesterday, so she can't win. She did call me vile, but I think when you see these other videos that I'm going to show you later, I look like a saint.
School, and I got a lot of like really deep insight into like what these kids go through that go to these boot camps, and a much deeper understanding of really what it's like to grow up in this cult and the mindset of the parents and how the children are treated and why the kids don't leave the cult, and what dating, courting's like, what kind of physical what they go through, called they're brainwashed. They're effectively brainwashed, right?
Can you hear the laughing going on in the background? There's lots of laughing. Tia says, hey, I know when I can't sleep, I have you guys. Hey, Christina. Hello, everybody. How can she see it? It's coming. I think you'll find that it's one of Amy Rachel King's T-shirts, and she's a cousin of the Duggar. She's a Duggar cousin. So if you believe Katie, they're besties.
So I spent like 2 hours talking to this former person that was in the IBLP. He went through the Alert Academy. He was, he knew Bill Gothard personally. He knew the Duggars. His family is still involved in the IBLP. And the brainwashing that these kids go through gave me a much better understanding of really why the Duggar kids stay. But then I also learned that the Duggars are not even really they're like a stain in a way on the IBLP.
A stain. They're like a stain. Really? A stain. I don't know. Sounds like Toddy's playing with Kiddo while she's streaming and being whatever she thinks she's now. Yes. A friend. We have to go to don't we have to go to the declaration to see what she says she is?
Because of the stuff that's come out about them, and they don't adhere to the rules the same way that the loyal people in the cult are. And he was able to leave because his parents basically gave him an ultimatum. And they said, you are either going to do this or you can go live with your grandmother. You're going to abide by our rules or you can leave. And he left. He said, I don't know.
That happens to a lot of teenagers though, doesn't it? They go, why are you under my roof? You follow my rules. Thank you, Lisa. You follow my rules. If you don't like it, you can leave. Is that right? I'm waiting on Salty, that's why. Yeah. I know I heard that. I heard that a few times. I know I've said it a few times. But, you know.
No, like he just was like, I don't know what happened that day. I literally just like woke up and I was like, call grandma. I'm done. I'm leaving. I don't want to be a part of this, you know? And, you know, there's families in this group that are way worse than the Duggars, that are doing way worse things. But as a whole, it's a cult, and having to go through therapy to like reprogram your brain is what he's dealing with right now, which is a lot of what Jill Dillard is dealing with. So the cool thing is that Breaking Code Silence actually got me in touch with him. Breaking Code Silence has an entire subset of people that are volunteers that deal specifically with these religious reform schools that are.
It's really. Oh, I thought yesterday it was teen camps. Now it's religious reform schools. Okay. Awesome. I can't wait for that member button. Well, I'm up to stage 3 of everything. So whatever that means of the monetization. It sure beats how I woke up yesterday. My Lord, I was mad at the world. KJ seems suspiciously carefree these days. If I were her, I'd be stressed. What does she know? She has one scoop we actually want. How long until she gets completely fed up by being in the same building as people who are happy? This is Kristen. Hi, Leah. Well, that's a good question, isn't it?
Are doing a lot of harm to children. And when you look at the totality of what these schools are doing, it's sending kids to places where they have trauma or psychological issues, and they're browbeat through physical force and through like drill sergeants and, you know, boot camps. And their only method for rehabilitation is the Bible. They're not getting the help they need, and they're being abused psychologically, emotionally, physically. And so, you know, you start to realize that this is a way bigger issue than just the Duggars. It's a bigger issue than just the Bates. You realize that as long as the Duggars and the Bates have their platforms, they legitimize the systemic abuse that's happening in the Institute of Basic Life Principles. They are bringing people into the Institute of Basic Life Principles by, you know, recommending their homeschooling.
So, it's very 1998, says Laura.
Curriculum or whatever, and you realize that there's a whole subset of people, thousands, hundreds, that are survivors of this, and they don't have anyone advocating for them. Like when I was talking to this individual today, he said, for years I've felt like no one's listening. No one's cares about us. No one gives a crap about the kids that have been traumatized by the Institute of Basic Life Principles. And he's like, I don't know if you'll have any success, but more people need to realize how dangerous this organization is.
Camo is making a comeback in the region, I suppose, to bring their voice. Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is that she goes on to say that this source is very concerned about being found out. And my first thought was, well, why have they gone to her? Because she wouldn't be the first person that I would that I would go to, particularly for anonymity.
And how deeply it scars people and destroys people's lives. And you start to understand that there's systemic, just like TLC just like looks the other way. And, you know, the kids in these organizations, they are not taught to have feelings. They are taught to basically stuff down everything. Like, one thing he said to me that really stuck out was, he said, if you're gay, you would never tell anyone. You would literally not tell a single soul that you're gay, because if you tell someone that you're gay and you're in this group, they will tell you that you're going to go to hell, and like you are shunned. Like, they think that you are Satan, and you, like, your belief is so, it's like the worst possible.
You got a lot of information in a 2-hour, in a 2-hour phone conversation. I mean, I would be reading notes if that was me.
Thing you could be is gay. And so these kids are sent to these schools for being gay or whatever. Even looking at girls can get you sent to these schools. Disobedience, rebellion. And he said, you know, even if one of the Duggar kids were gay, they would never say it out loud, ever. And, you know, you start to realize that the kids, like, perfect example here was, I said, why the hell would Josh Duggar be living back at his parents' house? He said, because Josh Duggar, like, out in the real world, has lost everything. Like, literally no one gives a shit about Josh. No one wants to deal with Josh.
Sorry, Poppy, I was touching my hair too. Oh, dear.
But as long as he said, you have to come back into the fold. And he said that a lot. So when someone is removed from the Institute of Basic Life Principles, they try to get them back into the cult, and they get them back into the fold. And by getting them back into the fold, they put them with the person that can hold them accountable. And in Josh's case, the dad, Jim, has to bring him back into the fold, and he has to have the accountability of his father. And then now, because Josh has faltered so much, he has a testimony that will inspire people within the cult, because he'll be able to say, look what I did when I didn't follow the rules. Look what happened to me. And now that I'm doing and following the rules, I'm not doing those things anymore. Now this person fully admits that Josh didn't get the help he needed, but Josh is like a martyr to these people, because now he's an example of, this is what happens when you don't do what we tell you to do. Now I'm doing what you tell me to do, and I'm great. But he's not great. I mean, he's really not, but he's redeemed. Do you remember that post that Anna did where she talked about he was redeemed? That's what that post was about.
That's part of the basic principle of Christianity, is that you are redeemed. You do get a second chance. You do get a chance to start again with your life. I mean, let's face it, how many of us have made mistakes in our lives that we're glad that we got to have a second chance with. That's what redemption is, having another chance. I'm not defending Josh, but I just think the fact that she's making a joke about it is wrong. How many people have done stupid things when they're young, and then, you know, and then have become very good adults when they're growing up. I'm just putting it out there. That's another good pause as well. I'm on fire with pausing today.
So, like, it's the parents' responsibility to do this. And, you know, it's just sad. It's sad. And I'm going to be interviewing somebody from, I'm going to have more conversations with him for sure. The stuff that he was telling me about the Alert Academy was just really, like, awful. And it's disturbing that the wider public thinks that he's a great person. You know, Jana won't leave because she's brainwashed. She won't leave. I asked him that, like, why wouldn't she leave?
It's funny how she's interviewing this guy about his experience at these academies, but yet she's managed to ask him about dirt on the Duggars. Like, that's just bizarre. Yeah, I mean, and a lot of us know as humans that sometimes it just takes one thing or one split second to make a decision that changes our lives for the worst. I'm not defending what Josh has done at all. Please don't think that I'm doing that. But what I'm stating is to pick on a family because they believe in redemption. I would like to think that everybody in some form has a belief in redemption, whether you're Christian or not. I mean, how many times as parents do we forgive our kids? That's redemption when they do something naughty, you know? I just don't know that you can say that there's something wrong with them because they believe in redemption. She wouldn't leave because that would be giving up her whole family. Yeah. Funny how she's telling her brainwashed subscribers about another brainwashed person. Oh, the irony. Yeah, I know.
And he said that, like, a lot of girls, their rebellion is to not get married because they don't want to be baby factories. So, like, the one thing they can do to control the fact of them not having kids is to, like, not get married. Like, they would rather live with their parents for the rest of their lives than to have to be a slave to their husband. I mean, and he admitted that the women in this cult are effectively slaves to their husbands because their husbands are the ones that are in control and they have to fully submit to their husbands and they're not allowed to complain. So it's
hi Puddin. Christine Stewart says Anna wouldn't leave because for all his faults she loves him. Funny how KJ doesn't understand that concept. Well, I mean, possibly you could say that that's why Todd doesn't leave her either, because he loves her with all the stuff that she does. Same thing. I don't know how old Josh is. I don't know. She should listen to herself. He was only young when it happened, didn't he? Wasn't it? And look at Miss Independent here. Hello, Jane. I just think it's really easy to pick apart people. I mean, people are going to say that's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing to KJ. No, I'm calling her out for things that are wrong. She's making fun of redemption. She's making fun of a family's beliefs. That's wrong. I believe that if these places, these camps have done wrong, they need to be dealt with. And I have no qualm with that. But it's all of this other stuff that's going around it that I have issues with, because she's turned it from this breaking the code silence into the cults of the Duggars. Like, she's turned it onto the Duggars because she knows the Duggars sell. That's fine, Peter. You go if you have to. So, hi, Kim. So, and this is what I have. It's one thing to report on this these camps or whatever she's doing, but to bring it into something and bring it back into what she's covering, I think is wrong.
Wild. It's just so wild. No, I'm not talking about Anna's brother. Yeah, great men don't abuse kids. So anyways, that was like my morning, talking to him. And he's really scared, like, because, you know, like, I can't ever give out his identity because then his parents will, like, shun him again. And he wants to be able to see, like, his nieces and nephews. And
I reckon this next story, she just about outs him, which is why I find it really hard to believe that somebody would actually confide in her. You tell me what you think. If you wanted to, you could find out who it is.
Jana can't do what she wants. Jason's lying. Jason's also had to go through reform school because he was disobedient. So Jason's lying. They're all lying to you. And they don't even know that they're lying. They truly believe that she can do what she wants. Like, they believe that they are making the choice. But they're so brainwashed that they don't know the difference. So it's not like they don't even understand what free will means. They're not taught to have free will. They're not taught to think for themselves.
But are they happy? This is the whole thing. If they're happy. There's lots of people that aren't very happy in life, but yet they're happy. They seem to have, from what I've seen, somewhat a simplistic, don't want to use the word simplicity, but some of what they have is very simplistic compared to everybody else, but they come across as being happy. And I'm only going by what I've seen on social media, what I've seen on the show, but they seem to have a large community around them. And you know that, community is very important. And we've sort of lost that a lot in our world because we've all got really busy. But, remember the days when you would just go play outside your house and you play with all the neighborhood kids, and the parents knew that you were going to be safe and they didn't have to worry about you. Wouldn't it be great to have that type of life again? I think so anyway. Then Amber Chick says that I went to camp too. I was bad. Imagine that. I learned a lot of discipline, respect, actually had fun. So yeah, it's not all of them. I was bad when I got home again, but still. Well, now she's saying that it's Christian camps. She talks and spends time with these people and witnesses things in her own eyes. She doesn't talk like a reporter. That's right.
They're not taught to have any level of boundaries, and they're not taught to think about doing anything for themselves. They are taught to love God first, then others, and then themselves. And then they're also taught to obey whatever somebody that's a superior position to you says.
Well, most of Christianity is about God first, then others, and then yourself. That's what Christianity is, like the Good Samaritan. The story of the Good Samaritan. Where do you think that story comes from? About looking after somebody that's down and out. I have to say, I was yelling at my screen at this point. Not as bad, but I went to a Christian camp myself. My mum said, well, at least you came back and loved the Lord. That's true. They live debt-free and are independent in their way to earn a living. They do take care of themselves and have respect for themselves. Hello, Claire. And we're just watching her Insta Live, where now she's, and for me, as a Christian, I felt then now she's bashing Christians. She's using this as an opportunity to bash Christians again, because she goes, oh, they love Jesus first and others second, and themselves like, yeah, well, that's what Christianity is all about. And in fact, if we focused on other people rather than ourselves more, we'd have a less selfish society. I'm just saying. Even if you don't believe in God, if you thought about other people, how is what I'm going to do affect how people in my house? How's it going to affect, if I was to get into a car after having a few too many drinks, what effect could this have on other people? If you started thinking about other people instead of thinking, oh, I've just got to get home, it would just change things. I don't think that, I'm not even talking about religion at this point. I'm talking about common sense and being a good human. Thank you, Claire. Thank you, everybody. But that's what this is. This is just being a very good human. So I don't see anything wrong with that. So, Katie Joy, please don't have a go at me because you live in your own little green glass house. And yes, I do put others before myself. I'm a mother. Mothers always, well, sorry, I shouldn't say that. Most mothers put their kids before themselves. Most mothers put their kids before themselves. Even now. Even though my kids are adults, I still put my kids before myself. So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox now.
They're not taught critical thinking skills at all. I think a lot of the men that are in this cult are abusive. In fact, I need to watch this documentary. This kid's former teacher told me.
So, KJ doesn't have a concept of putting herself first. True, I'll stuff my daughter if I need be. Hello, too. So now she's going to talk about his school teacher. So this is where I'm saying in my opinion, she sort of would out him. Oh, honey, I'm a programmer. Critical thinking and logic is basically a job description. She was raised Catholic, and I used to see it was a waste of time. Yeah. I was going to say, I'm a critical thinker too, but it doesn't take critical thinking to know that she's going up the garden path without a hose. I had to AFK for a few, come back and she's going on about cults again. Yes. That's all right, Rick. Apparently those of us that love God aren't critical thinkers. And we put everybody out before ourselves. And there's something wrong with that. That's why I like her so much. Yeah, Nerds Unite. She makes me so mad. Yeah, we all know where she is going. She does. She was making me so mad. But you reckon this makes you mad? Wait till you see the two without a crystal ball videos she did this morning. You ain't seen nothing yet.
He said his former teacher was in the Institute of Basic Life Principles, and she was set up by her parents to marry this guy that she didn't know, but the guy wanted to marry her. And so he approached this is how he explained how kids are arranged. He said that this is how the kids are in the IBLP. This is how marriages happen. So he explained it like this. Boys and girls are not allowed, according to this kid, boys and girls are not allowed to have any sort of relationship. They're not allowed to play together. They're not allowed to talk to each other. Boys.
Of course not, because there's boy germs and girl germs. Boys can't get girl germs and girls can't get boy germs. Oh, come on.
Can't even look at women's feet. They can't look them in the eyes. They're not supposed to look at women or have any sort of relationships with women. likes a girl somehow by either watching her or without anyone seeing. And then he approaches his parents and asks his parents if he can date that girl, court them. And then the parents have to decide by praying if they're going to do that. And then if they decide it's okay, then they will then go to that girl's parents and ask that girl's parents if they would be okay with their son pursuing their daughter. And then the girl's parents will decide by praying if they'll allow the girl to even consider it. And by that time, 3 separate groups of people have prayed and determined it's God's will. And so the girl is unlikely to really turn them down, because from the girl's mind, she's been told, well, it's God's will. All these people are saying it's God's will. If God's will is that I'm supposed to marry this kid that I've never met, it's God's will.
Well, guess what? I met a lady when I was working at the tennis, who is Hindu, and her parents arranged her marriage. She didn't meet her future husband until the day she got married. She turned up at the church and was told, this is your husband. Didn't have anything to do with him, and it was all sorted out by the family. So it still exists in many cultures today. I don't believe anyone has given her this information. She's definitely added on her own extra bit. This is all. Hi, Wind Whispers. And problematic. YouTube didn't give me about. Well, not right up there. That's a thing there, though, Richie. It'd be just like us looking at KJ and going, everyone from Minnesota is crazy, and tarnishing everybody with the KJ brush. Tia says Koreans. There are lots of cultures that arrange marriages. I know quite a few people. Yeah, quite a few people have had arranged. It's romantic. I don't want my family to pick him. They hate my taste. But I don't know what it would be like, though, turning up to the church on your wedding day. It'd be like Married at First Sight. Even in nutty cults, the girls can show interest in the boy and ask permission to discuss courting. I know miserable married people arranged and not, says Laura. Yep. You're the person that I was talking to. She said to me that they're not compatible, and that in their generation you don't leave each other. I know that feeling, and so, but she wouldn't encourage her son to. She wants her son to marry for love, so that's what she's done. But Kim did make somebody made a good point earlier where 4 of the 9 Duggar marriages have not married anyone from the IBLP. That's an interesting one. So while she's talking about all these arranged marriages in the IBLP, there are arranged marriages in other cultures and other religions. But, we just won't talk about those because they're no fun. Oh, it was on... is the best. Was it on tonight? I don't watch it.
So, no, the boys molest their own. The molestation comes because they have no example. No example for sexual, they're not allowed to have hormones. They're not allowed to be interested in girls.
Is she saying like all boys? Is she implying that all the boys molest the girls? Is that what she's just implying? It's also generations as well. Is that what she's implying? Because that's a very big very big allegation there. very big allegation if that's what she's saying. However, and there's nothing to preface it with either, but that's the impression that I've gotten. Yep, that's what she's implied. Okay, good. Well, it's not good that that's how I've interpreted it, because that's not a good interpretation, but I'm glad I'm not the only one that thought it was like that. She's throwing out some serious allegations. That's pretty bad.
They have no understanding of sexuality. They don't, everything about sexuality is like dampened. You're not allowed to have feelings. And so they have no education, no understanding. They're not allowed, everything about sex is sinful and bad and Satan. So they don't have boundaries to understand what's okay and what's not okay. And
yet they believe that God created sex. So let that blow your mind, KJ.
So it turns people into deviants and abusers because the kids don't have any example or any men showing them what to do. So, anyways, the marriages are effectively arranged. The girls just have to go along with it because mom and dad said it's God's will, right? It's exactly what happened with Josh and Anna. So, anyways, I started thinking about how, you know, we joke and we snark, and it's really sad when you start to think about how brainwashed these kids are and how little choices they actually have and how little free will they have to really do anything. And a girl can turn down the suitors even if a parent says it's their free will, but they can't leave.
I'm not taking any sexy time advice from Miss Joyfully Unavailable. I know that much, says that Amber Chick. She does make a lot of assumptions. Ballistic. She does. My Greek uncle married to my English aunt had an arranged marriage, so it's not just fundamentalisms. It wasn't a happy one either. That girl that tricked the guy into staying so she'd get another guy has been crazy. So obviously that's Married at First Sight. She started thinking again, got her brain cell lost again. Yeah. She's making me mad, Solo 7. Yeah, I was like, the UK version is boring compared to the Aussie one is pretty, very much out there.
So she can say no, but if she says no, that means she has to stay. So, you know, in her case, it's like probably in some ways a protest to her parents, a protest to the life, a protest to not wanting to have a million kids, a protest to not wanting to have to be submissive to somebody else, a protest to not wanting to have 47 kids. I mean, that's the only goal of the woman in this cult. They have no other purpose than to home make and have babies. That's it. So, like, the more I'm learning about this, and the more I'm like understanding this from someone who has survived it, you start to understand why Jill is so outraged and why she feels so helpless. And then you also start to see why her siblings are just so nasty to her, because they literally believe that she is like Satan. They believe that she's of this world now and that she will contaminate and like spoil and like harm the people around her. It's crazy.
Some people, like, yes, I think so. I think so, that Amber Chick. I think she is wrong because they do use birth control. It's non-hormonal birth control. TSA, would you want to go there, sister? She's fine about Jill.
She cannot have any sleepovers with Laura at all. anyways, some kids do wake up and leave, and they can slowly try to get their siblings to leave, but a lot of kids don't. And the reason why they will never accept the LGBTQ plus is because they're told that they go to hell. Like, literally, they say it's like the worst sin that you can have. Like, you are literally the devil. That's basically how he described it. Like, you would never admit that you're gay because people will automatically, like, attack you. And you cannot acknowledge it because you would never want to acknowledge to the peers in your group that you are Satan.
See, I don't know much about them, Kim. So I think the corner's gonna be full tonight. We can move over. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we're just warming up. KJ is just ruining herself. Yeah, but see how it's switched from? It's gone from switching from this breaking code silence, which is this thing that she wants to advocate, back to now the Duggars, which is what she's on about. So she's taken it and she's moved it all the way. So it's about her again. It's all about me. I want you to think about me. Look at me. Look at me.
I didn't say a word about her sexuality. I was talking about gay people in general. Are not tolerated in that group. I know. But they look at the Bible and they say that beating is justified in the Bible because there's passages that they can find in the Old Testament and like Proverbs, like something about spoiling the children, use the rods, I don't know, spare the rod, spoil the child or something. They always have this one verse. And so they will never believe that beating their children is not okay because they can find a Bible verse that's in there that tells them that they can do it.
To my Southern Baptist parents, wake up. I've got to tell them they were liberal the whole time. I wasn't raised like any of this. I mean, yikes. I have talked to Jill and she has a good relationship with her family. It's just different ways they choose to raise their children, but they still get together. Yeah. Gotta go. All right, see you later, Solo 7. She doesn't even read the Bible. It's funny how she seems to know half verses. I wonder if her she's tried to say, is it spare the rod, spoil the child? Which is, it is from Proverbs. But again, once again, she's quoting it out of context. Just like the whole thing about submission is all taken out of context. Maybe if her dog didn't eat the Bible, she could have looked it up, said wind whispers, yeah. And then we've got, so if you're going to quote it, at least quote it right. Well, that's right. She was too busy reading Mein Kampf. Says, without a crystal troll. So, okay. Oops, exactly, Joe. I just feel our brains went the exact same way. That's really scary, that Amber chick too. Can we put soap in her mouth for all these lies? Wash them out? I literally have no idea what she's talking about. Thank you. Her ramble confused me. Well, that is the only verse that resembles slightly what she's saying. So I think that's what she's trying to state. But as I said, once again, she's using it as an example that's out of context. But, you know.
Anyways, if any of the Duggar kids are gay, I don't want to even speculate about Anna or Janet. Any of them are gay. They could never come out. Never. They can never come out. They'll never admit that they're gay because they can't, or they're gonna go to hell. Like, think of that. Like, that's how this cult teaches them. Like, if you are gay, you're going to hell. It's crazy. It's awful. So they're never going to admit it. They're never going to come out. They're going to be, stuck. There is a documentary. It's called The Cult Next Door. There's also a girl that was murdered by her husband. That was the one I was talking about. She was arranged with this guy, and he literally, within 6 months of marrying her, murdered her. From the IBLP. That's what I'm going to watch tonight. All of the kids, he said that most of the kids that go to Alert Academy look at porn. That's the number one reason why they're there. And porn could literally be looking at a person, a school, a girl in a bathing suit. Their idea of porn is so twisted.
A girl in a bathing suit could be deemed inappropriate because it could be a minor that they're looking at, and then there's other problematic stuff. Come on. Seriously, this is a joke. Did she, in that book she wrote about being submissive to your husband? Okay. Oh. She's talking about one person's experience as if it's everybody's. And that's what I have an issue with.
It's called The Cult Next Door, I think. Oh, the one where he killed his wives? I don't know. I gotta look that up because I have to remember her name. It's something like Wedding's Gone Wrong or something. Her name was Krista. But I'm about to upload a video about Dr. Phil. So, I don't know where, okay, you guys, I don't know what channel it's on. I don't know what the name it is. I don't know anything. So right now I can't answer any of those questions because honestly, I just started talking and I wasn't prepared to give you guys links. So I'll try to get you that information in a little bit. Sorry, I can't answer that question. I will definitely let you know what it's called after I watch it. I'm going to go back into my DMs, and The Cult Next Door is a good one to watch. It's about the IBLP, and you can watch it on, you can probably find it on YouTube, to be honest. All right, so I'm about to upload a video about Dr. Phil in the troubled teen industry, and I'm interviewing someone from Breaking Code Silence this week, which is pretty awesome. I'm going to be doing a lot more with Breaking Code Silence. I'm actually pretty pumped to be connected to them because they do a lot of awesome advocacy, and I feel like one aspect that I'm really missing on this channel is, we do a lot.
Sorry, Tia, I didn't delete any comment. What comment was that on here, or was sorry, Tia. I mean, if I did it, it was accidental, but I don't think that I did. So I'll have to have a look and see what happened. I apologize. But she's really pumped about this.
A lot of talking, but what can we do as viewers to really help kids that are stuck in these situations? How do we advocate for them, and what can we help from a legal perspective? How can we, how can we contact our legislature? What are the bills that we can support? Who can we reach out to? How do we move, right? We want to do as much as we can. So my next video on Dr. Phil is going to be about Breaking Code Silence and what they're doing. And then I'm going to interview Breaking Code Silence, and we're going to talk about what's wrong with Dr. Phil. We're also going to talk about what they're doing from a legal perspective. And then I'm going to do an interview with a survivor of one of these religious schools and their experience, and now why they're advocating against these schools. So I think it'll be fun. I don't expect these videos to be massive successes in the amount of views that I have. it's more like a passion project for me, something that we can do to like impact and stop, because my son is autism and I don't want him to ever end up in a school for troubled teens, which he could very well end up in, and be abused. You know what I mean? It's just horrible. And side note, I got a message from Paris Hilton in my DMs, like a voice memo.
This is interesting. So now she's gone back to what she originally started on. So it started off being about the breaking code silence, then she's gone on this Duggar rant, and then now she's back to that, and now she's going to talk about Paris Hilton. As I said, I don't know about the I didn't see any comment get deleted, but
pretty cool. She reached out to me, so
yeah, she did.
And then after she reached out to me, breaking code silence, so that they would work with me, so it's pretty awesome. And she's really nice, really, really nice. It definitely needs to be spoken about. So I will be sharing the story in my swipe ups. And she sent me a voice memo. She's really sweet, honestly, and her voice is really like low. I'm not gonna play a private voice memo. Like, no.
I'm not going to play your private voice memo, but I'm going to tell you all about it.
It was really like her voice is so low when she's not giving her voice. Like,
Rick, did you have to imitate Paris Hilton?
For her that hot thing that I didn't even recognize her voice at first. I was like, but anyway, she was really nice. She definitely puts a persona on TV. She doesn't sound anything like that, like privately at all. She's just like very like flat and like very like stoic. So bizarre. Who are you? But she's really nice. All right, you guys. So I'm gonna get that Dr. Phil video up. I'm gonna put it in my swipe ups, and if you guys can share it, and you can like it and whatever, like that will help get the message out there about him, so that we can start to talk about getting him, held accountable for all the children that he's encouraging and sending to these schools.
Yeah, she is very happy. Right. So there was that one. All right. Then she came back later with this. She's not happy anymore.
And the video. So I'm really bummed because I uploaded my video about Dr. Phil and the video is demonetized because of the topic. And unfortunately, it's not going to hit the algorithm. So not a lot of people are going to see the video unless you guys share it and like engage on the video. If you can like go to my stories and swipe up, that would be wonderful, or click the link in bio. I know it's not like my typical content, but I feel like the message is so important, and I honestly don't care about making money on the video. What disappoints me is that it's once something gets a yellow icon on YouTube, it's like the engagement on the video goes way down, which means not as many people are going to get it recommended because YouTube doesn't make money on it, and it's not going to go into the algorithm. So the only way that I can help you guys, you can help the video get seen and make sure that other people see the message about Dr. Phil, is by like going to the video, click my link in bio, and then share the video, leave me a comment, give it some thumbs up, engage with the video so that it gets further out. Because right now, literally no one is seeing it because of that yellow icon. And some people are going to be annoyed and they're going to be like, well, why would I watch a video about Dr. Phil? But honestly, this video is so important because children are being abused, and I don't care if I make a dime on the video. It really does not matter to me.
Yes, you do.
I want to help the people to expose Dr. Phil. That's honestly what I want. Yes, it's on my normal YouTube. It's just not, it has a yellow icon. So go to my video, go to my channel. You can find out what happened to Dr. Phil there. Click the link in bio or go to my stories and swipe up. And then leave me a comment, share the video, help this video get out. Again, I don't care if I make any money. I don't care if it stays with the yellow icon. I just want the video to be seen because more people need to know about what Dr. Phil is doing. All right?
There you go. There was that one. So that was that one.
Bummed because I uploaded my video about Dr.
So there was that one. Then she's done this one. So, all banned. She won't have a dime if Tati has anything to do with it. All right. So it says, calling all survivors. If you were sent to a troubled teen program by Dr. Phil, we want to hear from you. Paris Hilton's social impact for This Is Paris is helping together anyone. Dr. Phil sent to a troubled teen industry program to band together and hold him accountable for his actions. So she goes, I'm looking for it. So she's on that bandwagon now. Right. So that was Instagram. Money, money, money must be funny in a rich man's world. Right. Hello, Christoph fan. Always though. Yeah, sure, Jan. If somebody will pay attention to her, or yeah, that's right. So there is more, unless unfortunately ballistic, there is more. It was a busy day. So she's got, according to Sleuth on Reddit, a surrogacy company posted a photo about the delivery of a baby girl in New York and congratulated parents H&A. The same surrogacy founder was on Hilaria Baldwin's podcast in November. Hilaria also follows them on Instagram. So he's so there you go. Thank you, Kim. KJ is taking the gold medal of defamation suits, I see. Okay, cool, whatever. Well, I mean, it's going to be whoever's next, isn't it? Like, there was some pretty horrid things in that Instagram that she said. But you haven't seen anything yet. I would love to tell you that that's as bad as it gets, but it's not. So that was that one. So according to Sleuth on Reddit. So Reddit's a good source unless it's about her, obviously. You wanted to report that one? Yeah. All right. I think a lot of people are blocked on Instagram despite the fact. So then she says, someone is lying. Jed Duggar's mystery engagement creates confusion. Hillary and Alec Baldwin surprise new baby causes outrage and confusion online, and Alec goes off. Cody Brown claims he can't leave terrible marriage with Mary, but she can go anytime. So that's her Twitter. Baldwin wanted her neck the last time she went at. Yes, he did. Yeah. Take away her internet access. I know, yet mine was cut this morning. Hers wasn't. I just told everybody that I broke the internet. If I hadn't grown up in a cult, I would suggest we place bets on who's next. Two of my charging cables broke today. Oh, hello. How hope things are all right. She did a whole video on that engagement. Yes, she did a whole video on that engagement. Yep, she did. Right. So I'm going to pull up because she did one on the Baldwins as well, I think. And I just saw very few. I saw some snippets on I saw a couple of snippets today on YouTube, and I was so angry with what I saw. So you might actually see me. You might actually see me start yelling tonight. So just warning you, because usually I'm quite restrained, but I'm like, you might see the Joe Unleashed tonight. C and D in the future from the Baldwins. Oh dear. So this is, oopsies. Yeah. Yeah, the only thing, yeah, just watch your language, because my nephew does watch it and he is a minor, yeah, but that's the only thing that I would say. But usually I'm like, will Joe be in the corner today? Yeah, probably. I'd like to see Joe Unleashed. You wouldn't. So just to show you, so she's got Someone Is Lying, Hillary and Alec Baldwin surprise new baby. And then this one, Paris Hilton is demanding accountability by Dr. Phil. Yes. All right. So we're going to start with this one, because this one rolled me up first.
I don't know why it's turned into such a thing, but why has it? I don't know. Alec asked why has it? I don't know. But I just want to go through. We've gotten some calls from some different outlets that are planning on doing stories, and what's frustrating is they'll say that I've said things that I've never said. And first I want to say that doing this for a living and taking all the interviews and stuff like that I do is a little bit like playing a game of telephone, where like you say something and they report something else, exactly what's happening right now. They literally call and say, these are the things that we're going to say about you. And you just get to a point where you're like, well, what can I do to stop you? If you're going to go out there and say these things, then there's not a lot that I can do.
So, all right, and I'm going to speed this up, because otherwise I'm going to get bored. Or do I slow it down? Oh, dear. All right, here we go. There we go. Sounds better. Now that's an intro.
Hey guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a hot minute since we talked about Ileria Baldwin. Okay, remember back in December, Ileria was caught.
First of all, I don't like how disrespectful she is with the name. I just sped it up. I made it better. She should be thanking me that I've made it better. A lot of people find that interesting.
Being fake Spanish. I know. Like people are like, Katie, why do you care? Because literally everyone cares. Everyone cared about the story because she had a 10-year grift where she literally pretended to be like she was from Spain. Nobody
cared. Only you cared. Nobody. If she doesn't stop saying hot minute, I'm going to scream. Better start screaming.
And she's not, by the way. She's Hillary from Massachusetts, and she went to school in Massachusetts and graduated in Massachusetts and didn't live in Spain. Anyways, she had a baby, right, before all of this blew up. And it all started about a photo that she shared. So this whole scandal with Ileria blew up because she shared a photo, basically like fresh out of the bath in lingerie with her baby, Eduardo. Yes, all the kids have Spanish names. And like just kissing him. And Amy Schumer made some sort of joke about it because she thought it was funny. And that sort of started this whole sleuthing on the internet, right? So Amy's gives Hilaria this huge platform. All these millions of people that follow Amy start looking at Hillary, and they notice some inconsistencies in Hillary's story, and they start to realize that Hilaria is actually Hillary, and then this whole...
I mean, how would she like it if everyone called her Catherine, because that's her name? But she prefers to be called Katie. How would she like it if everyone started calling her Catherine? She's like the live version of the National Enquirer. If somebody wants their name pronounced a certain way, you show respect and you pronounce it that way, whether you like it or not. However, Catherine, if you want to start using birth names, well, then we start calling you Catherine.
Social media thing explodes. She goes off the internet. They're off in the Hamptons. You know, she's got a baby that she's got to take care of and 5 other kids. A lot of people just were like, all right, it's fine, whatever. She came back to
What does it matter if she's got 5 other kids?
Instagram earlier in February, basically just saying like she took some time to get better, and you know, she could have said things differently. She could have been more careful in how she shared things, and it's just been this big learning experience for her. Blah 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 blah. Whatever, Hilaria, we know that you lied. Suddenly,
did you get that?
She announces on Instagram a baby. Like, wait,
let me take that back for a minute.
Big learning experience for her. Blah 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 blah. Whatever, Hilaria, we know that you lied.
Yes, that's in the video. Isn't that? What do you think about that? I was absolutely shocked. Don't have enough alcohol in the house for KJ's nastiness, friends. Maybe I should try chocolate. Laura says, can I go in the corner, please? She's bugging me. That's a good question, Joe. Not like Katie is having to raise them. My goodness. She did lie, though. Of course she did lie, though. You don't have to pay for the children. I have felt like KJ sucked on helium balloons. Don't worry, Poppy Seeds. I'll put myself in the corner. She tried to make people mad. Everyone's gone into the corner tonight. I think she does. We know that there was an issue with the lie, but this blah, 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 you lied. Can we do that for the next Katie video? Blah, 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 blah. Here's what I think, the short version. What is she thinking? See, if I tried to tell you that this is what happened, you would even think that this was not. Am I on the hunt for more? Is she on the hunt for more loose? Kim says, make room in the corner for me. And Poppy says, am I the only one in the middle now? Looks like it, Poppy. Everyone's gone into the corner.
Suddenly, yesterday, she announces on Instagram a baby. Like, wait a minute. How did she have a baby? Like, she posts a photo of her with baby Eduardo, who's literally 5 months old or 6 months old, and then this little tiny little girl laying next to him that's a full-term newborn. And people are like, wait a minute, where did this baby come from?
Rick, would you like to take over that conversation? How did she have a baby? Just about everyone's in the corner, Peter. Oh, I'm afraid to ask what's going on in the corner. Oh, tell you what, we do, people. Rick, I know. I nominate Rick to have that conversation because he lives closest to her. I will have to reach out to Catherine and give her a lesson on the birds and the beast. I think there's a stalk, says Jessica. There was obviously a lapse in her joy for unavailable attitude.
How do you have another baby? And she simply put 7. That was it. So people are like 7. Okay, so this would be their 6th child plus Ireland, who Alec has with his ex-wife. Okay, so that would be Alex's 7th child, 7 children. Get it? Got it. Then they confirm that it is their baby, but they won't tell anyone where the baby came from. So obviously we know that Hillary would not have been able to birth a full term.
Where did the baby? Under the cabbage patch, Katie. Under the cabbage patch. Didn't you understand? And I'm sure if you checked the bottom, you'd find it was signed by Xavier. Talking about dolls. I've got to do my CPR. And they have sent me my own little mini Annie to do my CPR with. So I've got my own, I was going to say blow up doll, but but it gets assembled and you do your CPR. Got to put it together for CPR. So there you go. I've got my own doll. Mine came in the post. You forgot about the Cabbage Patch dolls that came out of Cabbage Patch Kids. Oh, that's unsettling. Yeah. They got the baby from Costco. I'm in the corner. No, it had first aid on it because it's part of the first aid kit. That's where the babies come from, the mailman. Oh yeah, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Oh, Mr. Postman. Mr. Postman, look at me. Do you have a baby for me? Christopher always, if he had his way, he would. He already wants me to rename the channel. She will be, won't she, Laura?
Baby in 5 months. I mean, the math, the science is just not there, you guys. It's just impossible. Not to mention, she doesn't look pregnant. She was not pregnant, and she just had a baby. So where did the baby come from? And the publicist is being like really cagey about it. So they're refusing to tell anyone where this baby came from, whether it was adopted, whether they did a surrogate. They know that it came from a few options. And obviously people were curious because you don't just have a baby 5 months ago and then introduce a new baby that's literally white, looks like maybe your kids. Where did the baby come from?
Obviously white. Oh boy. Or maybe it was a family member that didn't want to marry, anyway. How proud of Harrison's parents of his success? I don't think they know yet. But come say me for myself. How dare they want privacy for how they choose to grow their families? So how rude. How can we gossip, says Jessica. Oh, yes, the most reliable sources. What a sleuth. Wish you could figure out where babies came from. Somebody had a baby. Why is that news? Says Christopher and always. They might be curious, KJ, but it is none of your business. Not your child, not your problem, says Peter. Or imagine if they wanted to know how KJ had her son. was he Who cares? Everyone has to run everything past KJ, obviously.
Okay. So then after everything kind of explodes, people are like trying to figure out where did this baby from. They announced the baby on Instagram. The baby's name is Lucia. So obviously the baby girl who is not Spanish got a Spanish.
Isn't it Lucia? Lucia, if it's Spanish, even I know. Lucia, isn't it pronounced differently? I would have thought she would have pronounced it properly. If she can speak Spanish, just because it's not Lucia. Lucia is the English pronunciation.
Name because that's what the Baldwins do. And they said that they were like super happy to welcome her to the family. So the post basically just says, "We are so in love with our daughter, Lucia. Just like your brothers and sisters, you are such a dream come true." She has 5 kids before Lucia comes along, 1 daughter and 4 boys. And she'd always talked about how she wanted a sister for her oldest daughter. Okay. And now they have a daughter who's just born apparently. And they round out their family with 2 girls and 4 boys. So back in November, when she was doing some interviews, she basically said that she wasn't sure if she wanted to have any more kids, that she's just so tired. She's just so exhausted with the life that she has. She hasn't even gone there yet. And then now this baby shows up. Okay, so people are like, where did this baby come from? You couldn't have had it, you couldn't have.
He was. So if you're Spanish and you can't, so if you're not Spanish, you can't have a Spanish name, apparently so. Don't get me started on who Spanish says that, Amber Chick. Oh, okay. Garcia, Lucia. Okay. All right. No, that's fine. I just thought maybe there was it had a different pronunciation. So when you sit down, I spent $800 on Calvin and Hobbes merchandise. I asked KJ doesn't know where babies come from. Anyway.
Delivered it. Is it an adoption? Did you do the surrogate? Did Alec have an affair? Like, what is going on? They will not talk about it, right?
Did Alec have an affair? What? Where did that come from? What? So now you're starting other accusations. Why did you go there? Why? Why would you go there? She really doesn't know how babies are made, says Kim. Oh boy. Oh, how can she keep a straight face when she talks? I don't know. Peter, yes, KJ, Alec Baldwin had an affair with Kim Kardashian. That's why she's getting a divorce. Jessica says maybe she could advise on the best Cabbage Patch doll. Honestly, my Cabbage Patches are the best behaved children. I don't believe I think they did, Jolanne. She's reading a Daily Mail article from UK LR Jane. It's interesting because I noticed that when I saw the Daily Mail article come up, and it was, she had quoted on her Instagram word for word from them. Oh, I've missed everything. No, you haven't. You've just got to the best bit. Nana Kimber. Oops. I've literally just read all those comments. If they did, somebody should send this to them. Oh, boy. Can we get some cushions for the corners, please? We're going to be here a while. Tracy looks like she's been watching another commentary child who specialises in... Katie never keeps a straight face. She's saying that Hilaria would be willing to pose publicly with her husband's love child. Yeah, that's what she's saying. All right, we've still got 10 minutes of this to go.
And people in the comments are getting like ruthless, right? Because people want to know, like, yo, where did this baby come from? And in typical Alec Baldwin form, he literally goes off on people who ask questions.
Just like you do. What's the problem? What's the problem with that? You do the same thing.
So if you don't know anything about Alec Baldwin, he loves to use the F word and curse out the people that ask questions. So here's what someone said. Who is the mother? She wasn't pregnant. She gave birth 6 months ago. If it was a surrogate, just say that. If the baby was adopted, just say that. If the baby was a product of an affair and you decided to raise it with your wife, just say that. If you don't want to say anything, why don't you both stop constantly posting and begging for clickbait? Just raise your 100 children in private. And he said, you should shut the F up and mind your own business. To the point here, I think it's natural. Like, this is a couple, Valeria loves to use her social media for attention. She's a world-class author, and she's a master yoga instructor, and she's the best mom blogger. And you're going to literally...
How dare he tell people to leave his daughter alone? Exactly. Hello, Sunny Dance. Even if this was his natural baby, not the person who really cares. If everyone is happy with the family arrangement, this is a loved and wanted baby regardless, which is wonderful, says Jessica. Kim, it's that kind of night, says Tia. Rick says, I wonder if Daily Mail could sue her for regurgitating the article almost word for word. Probably not. Well, they should do, because it's plagiarism, isn't it? Take an orange juice. You don't want... Lawsuit. Fact. Oops. Why should they hide their kids? Because they don't want to talk about them, says Jane. Well, remember, she doesn't want to hurt you talking about her kids. Don't forget that. And she seems to be a bit jealous of Hilaria, in my opinion.
Introduce your baby girl, and you have this huge scandal around, and you're not going to tell people about where the baby came from. And when your publicist is asked, you know, by all the media outlets, you won't tell anyone. And people are just wanting it to be cleared up, right? So then another person, seeing the backlash that they were getting, said this. I wish I knew why people are so mean. I cannot have children and love watching the way they interact with theirs. As far as the Spanish, who cares? Everyone I work with is Spanish, and they call me Lena instead of Katie. I don't care. Why should anyone else? It is not pretending to be something. It is personal preference. Everyone has a nickname. Like, that's not the same, Katie, but whatever. And then Alec responded, because basically they're not very smart. Americans are people who know less about how to live a peaceful, healthy life than most of the civilized world. Okay, so, Alec, you're an American. So are you saying that you're not civilized too? Well, you're not. You're the one that always gets arrested for, like, punching people, and you get to go through anger management.
Really? She went there again? That's... Really? No way. I just hear what I heard. Did she just say what I think? Really? Did she go there? All right, I'm just going to take it back a little bit just so that we can get it in context.
A peaceful, healthy life than most of the civilized world. Okay, so, Alec, you're an American. So are you saying that you're not civilized too? Well, you're not. You're the one that always gets arrested for, like, punching people, and you had to go through anger management last year, but I digress. Anyways, he was, like, going back and forth. Another person said, my first response was like, yikes, but it's not my business, and if they love and can support all of these children, then God bless them. And he said, I believe that people should simply say congratulations or shut the F up. That's it. Okay.
Do I need to do it again? And he's right. People should just say congratulations. All right, I'm going to play it again one more time. All right, for the third time, because I'm hoping that I've misheard it the last twice. Saltsy should cold call the Baldwins. Yeah, I think so.
Alec, you're an American. So are you saying that you're not civilized too? Well, you're not. You're the one that always gets arrested for, like, punching people, and you had to go through anger management last year, but I digress. Anyways, he was, like, going back and forth. Another person said, my first response was like, yikes, but it's not my business, and if they love and can support all of these children, then God bless them. And he said, I believe that people should simply say congratulations or shut the F up. That's it. Okay, so, yes, people were...
Yes, congratulations. It is about the punching, because he did that. Oh, I'm not saying that he didn't do it, Kristen. I'm saying it was not the time to bring it up. Yeah. Yes, but that is regardless to. Yes. Yes. Except Rick's comments because he only speaks facts. Correct, Rick? Oh, wow. Kim says, I'm not psychic, but I see a C and D in KJ's future. Well, just as well we're preserving it for prosperity, hey?
Yes, congratulations. But where did the baby come from? And it just looks, the optics are weird because it happens right after a scandal, right? We know how celebrities use things to divert attention. I'm not saying that that's what happens, but
yeah, it's the way she brought it up. It wasn't the fact that she brought it up, it was the way it was brought up. This could be trouble. There's trouble in paradise. There is.
That is a known PR tactic. So people want to know where the baby comes from. They don't want to say that's their right, but then they're also public figures putting it out on social media. So there's going to be questions because the birth happens to coincide so closely to when she had a baby only 6 months ago. Okay. So some internet sleuths on Reddit did some sleuthing and they found some information from a surrogacy organization based in, I don't even know where. And this is an organization that Ilaria had on her Mom Brain podcast or whatever it's called. And about like late last week, I think on Friday, the organization had shared a photo which said, welcome.
No, I'm not saying she can't say it, Kristen. I'm saying it was in very poor taste. It was in very poor taste. I just think it was in poor taste. So I'm not saying he doesn't. So this baby's to divert attention from his anger management. Can she try making sense for once? Yeah. But I digress. Oh, thank you, Nana Kimber. So that's all I'm saying. Yeah, I just think it was very poor taste. Very poor taste. I know the reputation of Alec Baldwin, and yes, it was in very poor taste. And how is that relevant to the fact that they've got a new baby? Is my point. What else could you expect from KJ but decisions made in poor taste? Yeah. Yes, and that Paris Hilton will use KJ for more views, something like that. Says Rick, hey Jay, love these early morning lives. Thank you, Atticus. It's raining at mine right now and it's amazing. Cool, Claire. If she gained 2,000 subs in the last 2 weeks, then that means 2,000 new people would be actively watching her, but she still only has a couple of hundred, if that. Yes, says Christus Friend always. Oh, look, what was on Ancestry.com? Right, it's way out of context to her of her topic. If she was talking about angry men, it would be totally relevant. But she's talking about a baby, and she's trying to work out where the baby came from. So Rick is going to have that discussion with her. I nominate. All in favour of Rick having this conversation with Catherine? All in favour, say aye. Todd, come get your girl. Oh, yeah, everyone's saying aye. The tribe has spoken. Well, the cult has spoken. The tribe has spoken. Oh, it's funny. I found that book the other day, Peter. I think I have a copy of the book. Where did I come from? The Cartoon one. And What's Happening to Me. I actually had them both. I found them both. Where did I come from and what's happening to me? Wish me luck. No, I like you. I find myself here a bit lately. Are you just a cat, JK? No, Claire, I don't. But she's taken up a lot of my time at the moment, like everybody else's content. I talk about music. I've got some other content to do as well, some serious stuff. Rick's Corner Cult. Yes, picture books will teach us, Rick. Might help if you prepare some sketches. Don't say we're a cult. She'll be after us.
To the world, New York's first little one. And then it says, congratulations to H&A with carrier B on the amazing birth of their daughter M, New York's first birth under the Child Parent Security Act. So immediately when people saw this, they saw that Hillary was following this account. They noticed that they said, congratulations to H&A, and then the baby's name, daughter M. Who knows? I don't know. That was one coincidence, right? Then they find out that Hillary is actually following this account on her Instagram. And then they realized that back in November, she had people from this surrogacy center on her podcast. So on a November 4th episode called Telling Our Story, this was the synopsis. A few weeks ago, Angela, our founder, did a thing, and we are so excited to finally get to tell you about it. She was featured as a guest on the hit podcast Mom Brain.
I guess, Belinda, they may tell us when they're ready. That's all I'll say. Rick has an escape clause. There is about 10 people who read it on YouTube. You can just drop her a link. Because she won't slide in my DMs. Won't she?
Co-hosted by Hillary Baldwin and Daphne Oz. And they spent an hour talking about all things surrogacy as well as Angela's own journey as a mom and a surrogate. Angela shares how she came to surrogacy, the struggles she has faced, and now how she helps parents to be through Alcia, answering all of Hilaria and Daphne's questions along the way. Angela was honored and thrilled to be on Mom Brain. The enormous privilege of being afforded a platform to discuss alternative family building humbles me beyond belief. Like pregnancy loss, infertility is frequent, devastating, and a taboo topic despite its commonality. It is imperative to take a step to normalize surrogacy, egg donation, and all other ways families can come to be. Everyone who has the desire to be a parent should have the resources to understand the way that can happen for them in spite of the challenges of infertility. So she has this, Angela goes on the podcast and talks about her journey. So a lot of connections here, like that show that she might have used a surrogate, meaning that she may have used a surrogate.
Oh, Mystery solved. Then they used the surrogate. So how about walking back that infidelity insinuation? I know that was pretty yuck. No, not yet, Nana Kimber. Not yet. Not yet.
When she was still pregnant with Eduardo, which I can't explain why that would happen, but I'm not a celebrity with a ton of money. So surrogacy is very expensive, but it's not an uncommon option. I mean, Kim Kardashian used a surrogate for the last two of her children, and it is an option for mothers that have dealt with infertility. Hilaria had 2 miscarriages before she had Eduardo, so maybe it could have been she got pregnant. She was maybe not sure that the pregnancy was going to go full term. Like maybe she thought that, okay, I've gone through 2 miscarriages. I'm really concerned that something could happen. Why don't we just do a surrogate in case? Kind of like, well, let's try this one last time, maybe. I don't know. That's my only kind of thought process here. Now, people and so then she goes through the surrogate because they know that maybe that specific woman has less fertility struggles. Now, miscarriages are not uncommon, and obviously, the more pregnancies you have, you're going to have more miscarriages because a certain percentage of all pregnancies end up in miscarriage. If you have enough.
No, they didn't announce. They didn't announce what they haven't officially announced. No, KJ is saying that it looks like they did use the surrogacy.
Pregnancies, it's likely that along the way you would have a miscarriage. Okay, using a surrogate is not a bad thing. Getting a surrogate is not a bad thing if you can afford it. And then having them on your podcast is also not a bad thing. And then the announcement looks like she used a surrogate. So why are they being so secretive about it? Is it the optics that they might have used the surrogate while she was still pregnant? Like, does that bother people? I don't know. Some people were saying that maybe she had the pregnancy with Eduardo and they found out the sex and it was a boy and they decided they needed to have the girl. Now they can implant embryos and they can know ahead of time like what the embryo's sex is, and they can determine ahead of time that you can have a boy and a girl, or you could have just a girl. So there is, I mean, you can do the science and she could implant the surrogate with a girl embryo and she could have a baby girl for them. So I don't know what to make of this. Either way, congratulations. That's going to be a very full house. Hillary has taken and turned all the comments off on her Instagram, and has of course made it relatively dramatic with a post by sharing a post about how we go high because people are being rude to them, and it was a quote that said this: "I have come to the frightening conclusion that I am the decisive element. It is my personal approach that creates the climate. It is my daily mood that makes the weather. I possess tremendous power to make life miserable or joyous. I can be a tool of torture or an instrument of inspiration. I can humiliate or humor, hurt or heal. In all situations, it is my response that decides whether a crisis is escalated or de-escalated, and a person is humanized or dehumanized. If we treat people as they are, we make them worse. If we treat people as they ought to be, we help them become what they are capable of becoming." She responded to it even though she didn't have to, which is always what makes it worse, right? If you don't respond, like what celebrities, when they've had a surrogate, get this kind of pushback? I mean, Cameron Diaz, I'm pretty sure, has used one twice, and nobody gives her crap. Nobody blows up her, and she doesn't respond to the negativity. So maybe you guys just need to stop responding, Hillary and Alec. Alec, stop telling fans to F off if they have a question. And if you can't handle your social media, Alec, just turn it off. There's this button on the side, and you just click this. And you can turn your phone off. And of course, as I'm filming this, they release a statement to people, or someone confirms to people that the baby was born by surrogate, which is, again, why would you have a surrogate while you're pregnant? But to each their own, right? They've confirmed it was through a surrogate, or a source has confirmed it. It still doesn't really clear up a lot of the behavior. What are your thoughts? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.
All right. So that was the first one. Oh, dear. Maybe stop giving celebrities. There's a button on your phone where you can turn it off and not harass them. All right. Let's have a look. All right. The response to the sanctions is due Wednesday, is my understanding. I'm not sure, though. So go ahead and edit out all that speculation means of the end of her childbearing years. Possibly. I can only hear so much of her voice. No, I know she's trolling, given advice about ignoring comments. Where I am, what about you all? It's at 10:45 p.m. on Wednesday night. Try these corners of crowded people sitting. They will be. Yeah. Well, it's Wednesday evening here. She hasn't just hit herself. She's jumped on top of the missiles. Yeah. She hasn't gone there yet. So that was the first one that was really bizarre. I'm going to show you the second one. I haven't watched any more, but as I said, I've only seen snippets of these videos, and the 21 day is up to date today. All right. Are you about to wake up? Cool. I hope so, because I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. I'll be... All right. All right. So if you need to get your drinks ready, you need to get your drinks ready. All right. Okay. If I was Saltsy, though, I would not be filing it till 11:59 Wednesday night. But that would be just me, and that works perfect. That's perfect timing for me. Saltsy, you need to work with my timing. I'm doing all right. I rested. I haven't done much today at all. So Thursday morning it will drop for us. I'm busy tomorrow, Saltsy. Yeah, I'm suspecting it will be. I'm actually suspecting it'll be tomorrow night, personally. Right. So this is It will be, of course. Well, it will be. So yesterday, the Sun reported that Jed Duggar was engaged to be married to Lauren Caldwell. However, a source connected to the Duggars insists Jim Bob Duggar is telling Freds Jed is marrying a girl from Arizona in April. Plus, there is a wedding registry and photos matching this story. Who is dating who? Now, she also shared that, so we've got Jed and Jeremiah, Jebediah and Jeremiah. She showed on her Instagram, as we saw before, that the twin brother was allegedly engaged to her. So let's see if she makes any sense out of this. I think I'm going to have to speed it up. Oh, no, it's already on. It's already sped. Oh, by the way, guys, that was already sped up. So if you thought that was hard to sit through, it was sped up already. It was at 1.25. My nephew feels excited. So apparently I have to change the name to the Harrison channel. To Harrison's channel. Hope Saltsy does something mundane and basic like, not true, Brown. Read what I wrote to Saltsy. That would be perfect. Well, we will sort of know what will happen because I'm certain we're getting ready to hit the self-destruct button. You can sort of see signs like some of this stuff that she's talking about today. This nonsense is the classic behavior that happens before a filing.
Supposed to decorate a car for the couple, their getaway car, and make it nice and presentable for them. So it's something that, they will remember this. We're just looking to get something that's either really stinky or bizarre, something that kind of stands out for her looks like. I bet that'll stink it up. Let's get one of those.
You can thank me, Toad and Katie Joy, that I've just fixed up your tune. Much easier to listen on the ear.
Hey guys, it's Katie from Without a Spelt. Welcome back to my channel. A double Duggar wedding. Could it be? Something secretive is going on in Duggartown. And there has been some discussion since I did my video about Jed and his supposed engagement to Lauren that there could be either a different woman that he's engaged to or Jeremiah could be potentially linked to a woman that some fans think Jed is being linked to. What? Yeah, it's so confusing, you guys. So buckle up. This is going to be a wild ride. So it all started yesterday.
So buckle up.
When the Sun exclusively reported that Jed Duggar was engaged to Lauren Caldwell. The story goes like this. They had been partying on and off for a year, according to the Sun, and she met Titus and decided to court him and got engaged. And then suddenly, when she got with Titus, realized that Jed was the one for her, hook up with Titus to get with Jed. And then as soon as she got with Jed, things moved quickly. The kismet love of Duggerness. Okay, anyways,
that's not what the article says. I will get the link and put the link in so that you can actually have a read of it for yourself, because I'm about correct facts here. Confusing because she's been spouting for so long. Good. The idea of a wild ride is pretty boring. Yes, true. Yes. But anyway.
The story now is that they're engaged and they're getting married, all right? And I said yesterday I hadn't had a chance to verify with anybody that I knew.
Oh, that editing is so bad. It's funny because Harrison was watching this video before, and it's interesting that he's actually yelling that he's actually watching KJ, and he's going, "Stop telling lies, KJ. Stop telling lies. Can you stop your lying?" And then he goes, "I could edit your videos better than you." No verification. So she's using rag. She's essentially using rags for her because she shared the Sun and that other rag. He's so cute, yeah. I'll say to him, who are you yelling at? And he goes, KJ. Oh. Exactly, Harrison. He's not wrong, though. Oh, I'll say, who are you angry at? Oh, I just watched the Katie Joy video. Does she ever know what she's talking about?
Sort of the Duggar circles, but I did after I made my video last night, and this is what I found out. And it doesn't really give me any more answers, so I do apologize. Now, first off, I want to just put this out there that the Duggars are pretty good at diversion, and they are also often pretty good about not telling friends or family about anything before the media or before the show would release the information. They're bound by contracts, typically with TLC, to release information. And so a lot of times secrecy is the norm. Like, friends don't find out about courtships until the wider public does, or friends don't know about engagements until the wider public does. And that can cause confusion in circles because Jim Bob will tell people things and then they will be completely blindsided when things come out. Okay? So that's what the source kind of told me. So here's what I was told, is that about a week ago, Jim Bob was allegedly speaking to somebody, also, like, has been talking to friends, let's say, and he has been telling people that Jedediah was engaged or getting engaged. So the engagement rumor is apparently true, but he has been telling people.
Dunning crew. Yeah. And of course, why is he going to tell people if it's part of if it needs to be aired on the show? Like, seriously. And I was just thinking maybe that's the same thing with the Baldwins. They've got a contract with a certain paper or something, and so they're not going to release the information until they've done their official whatever it is.
Well, that Jedediah is engaged or getting engaged to this girl from Arizona. That's where it all started. Now, they did admit that Jim Bob hasn't been telling people anything about them. And in fact, nobody knows who Jed is courting. They said it's been so secretive that they don't know the name of the girl. They don't know anything about the girl, just that Jed is really serious about someone. They're getting. All
they know is that it's a girl. Allegedly speaking to someone as opposed to Ausland. Yes. He wouldn't do it unless there was an official release. Correct, Kim. So, of course, they're not going to say anything. But I just love this headline. Someone is lying.
Engaged and a wedding is happening in April. So that part I did confirm. Now, after I talked to that person, I said, do you think that Jim Bob might say that as a way to throw people off, that it could be Lauren? And the person I talked to wasn't sure if it was Lauren or not. They said that the Caldwells hadn't made any mention of anything. So we know that the Caldwells haven't said anything. Jim Bob's saying that Jed is engaged to someone in Arizona.
And don't forget, she did all of this on her Instagram Live last night. Remember as well? We watched it all.
And there's been a lot of elusiveness around this. Now, in terms of Lauren, they weren't sure whether or not she was involved with any of the Duggars. Apparently, according to the source I spoke to, Jason was actually pretty interested in her at one point in time, but I guess Paul Caldwell did not approve. And then I also was told that the rumors about Jed dating Kendra are true. So before Joseph got...
Anyway, yes, Ausland is the Australian Sign Language, correct.
With Kendra, apparently Jed and Kendra were a thing. And they were together for a while, and then suddenly Kendra and Joseph got together. Now, the Sun did report that, and then everyone sort of played it off and said, oh, that's not true. Well, my source says, yes, that is true. Kendra and Jed were together, and then it didn't work out, and then she ended up with Joseph. Imagine trading girlfriends with your sibling. That's so bizarre to me. But it's the Duggars. Okay, in terms of whether...
But it's the Duggars, apparently.
Or not, it's Lauren. Even, like, people that are close to her don't know. Because no one's saying anything. It's hard to know if Jim Bob has created the story about the girl being from Arizona as a way to deflect or distract so that people have no clue that it's Lauren, so that they can't, release that information to the wider public, or if that's the truth. But after I spoke to this person, then I went on to...
Yes. I have sped her up. Just think, what if she focused on her own family? Yes. It's like a pinball machine in her brain. Yeah. She is reading the script. Her eyes keep going to the corner again. Well, I'd like to think she is reading the script because, yeah. But then it's still all over the place.
My DMs, and I had a message from one of my, actually, it was on my channel, and then in my DMs, someone said, well, who is Katie Nikatsu? And I said, I don't know. And they said, there's a registry, and they sent me a photo of the registry of her with Jedediah. Now, here's the thing, you guys. Wedding registries are so easy to fake. There's a wedding registry for Jana and some guy named Titi. There's also wedding registries for other Duggars that are clearly not married, or dates of registries that are false. And we also know somebody like set up a false one for Nathan Keller and Nuri Rodriguez, and another person set up a fake one for Justin and Claire. Fans get creative, and they sometimes use it as a way to get free gifts. You know, I don't know that this is true, but it says that Jedediah and Katie Nikatsu are getting married on April 30th. Now,
You can't get her line. She did block the person afterwards, I believe. Yes, on Instagram. Her herself. It could be interesting.
not all the time are the wedding registries public. And in fact, when Justin and Claire shared theirs, it had been private or only for people that could look at it, in terms of like only people that had access to that link.
Hang on. It was private for only people that could look at it. Oh, this is great script writing. Oh, thank you, Nana Kimber. Oh, dear. Oh. So private for any people with eyes and ears. She does this whole story. This whole story is not so much on what she knows. It's about what she doesn't know. Yes. Yeah. And it's eating away there that she doesn't know. Russia is not China. And what was last night's? You're worth more than your uterus or something? Or something? What was, I can't remember last night, so I didn't write it down. Oh, people who haven't been blocked. All right. Let's listen.
And Katie Nikatsu are getting married on April 30th. Now, not all the time are the wedding registries public. And in fact, when Justin and Claire shared theirs, it had been private or only for people that could look at it, in terms of like only people that had access to that link could get to it. They couldn't actually find it in the database. So knowing that not all of these are true, it's hard to know whether or not this is true. But here's the thing. Katie is from Arizona. She's a member of the IBLP. These are a family member that's been around the Duggars for a very long time. John Dave.
So I don't know. Sometime today, Jane. You're worth more than your uterus. Yep, that's what she said. Symbolistic. Yeah. I mean, Jessica Gibbs, we can make more money talking about what we don't know. Why didn't someone tell me be right back making career changes? Yep, I'm worth more than my uterus. You can come out the corner if you want. Most gift registries on Amazon are privated to who you invite. Right. Well.
It appears to have gone through flight school that her father owns. So her father, Corey, owns a flight school out in Mesa, Arizona. And he and Katie were seen together back a lot in 2018 when he was working on his pilot's license. So some people thought maybe he and Katie were courting, but I don't think that's true. And then also, there's been this like speculation that Katie was involved with Jed or with Jeremiah. This could be completely false. But then there is this video that comes out on Jess's channel where they're all painting pumpkins, right? And all the guys are painting pumpkins, and you see them like sort of finishing the pumpkins, and you don't know who made what because she doesn't like view up at all on who is making what pumpkins and who made what. But one of the pumpkins said Katie on it.
Well, maybe it's a pumpkin the Duggars have done for you, Katie. Oh dear. I'll be honest, I'm worth more dead, so my kids said when they found out I had life insurance, says Peter. It's interesting in the corner, says Tia. Yeah, it is way too cold. Sun is coming out. Cool. Doesn't know. Jane says they could have had my uterus for free. I'm happy to give mine up too. It's causing me lots of problems. Mystery solved. Jenny's in love with KJ. Yeah, I was just wondering whether they made that because remember her name's Katie. Katie, he's getting married to Katie. She has a fascination with them. Same. I lie to mine, telling them there's all kinds of clauses.
Spelling it Katey. That again is an interesting, different spelling. Obviously, my Katie is Katie. That's kind of the most traditional, or Katey. Adding the EY is kind of an unusual spelling. That was found by another one of my subscribers, and they sent that over to me. And then I started looking through some old blog posts, and I noticed that this family has been friends with the Duggars for a really long time. And I do know that what happens in the IBLP is that family members, the boys generally will.
Hey, isn't that interesting though that she said and goes, I spell mine Katie, not Kat. Why did you then have to make it about her again?
Now, girls and boys in the IBLP are not allowed to speak to each other. They're not allowed to have relationships with each other, and they're not really allowed to know one another. So the only way a boy would be able to find interest in a girl would be like simply being.
I told you it's because of boy and girl germs. My 6-year-old. Welcome to my uterus. It's so old it can't be overhauled and mileage is exhausted. My 6-year-old cousin doesn't like touching girls because he'll get girl germs. So there you go. My 6-year-old nephew. She's so pleased she's getting subscribers to do her work for her. Yes.
Her, but not interacting with her. And then the boy would have to go to his parents, ask his parents, I'd like to get to know this girl, and then the parents might go off and pray about it, and then come back to the boy and say, okay, yes or no. And after they've prayed about it, the parents would go,
haven't we heard this before? Haven't we heard this before? She's just using the same material on different platforms. Oh, but didn't she say she didn't know where babies came from before?
We'll go to the parents of the girls and talk to the girls' parents about it, and then they pray about it, and then it's at the very end of that sequence the girl finds out that there's someone interested in her. I know, it's wild. That's why people call it arranged, because the girls are the last to know, and it's the boys that kind of do the it's old-fashioned and it's really weird. And this is from people I've talked to that are in the IBLP or former members. She turned into your New York getting her subs to do the research, says Peter. Lesson 1, stalk. Lesson 2, cooties. Yeah, we call them germs. Boy, germs, girl germs. But cooties works too. So it basically said it's just arranged marriages with a fancier term of courtship. It's not uncommon also for these families to intermarry because there's not a lot of families in it, and it's also not uncommon for fathers to get together and try to sort out like if their children would be good matches for each other. Knowing that this family, the Nakatsus, have been around the Duggars for a long time, they have 2 girls that are in the age range of some of their boys, it wouldn't be like weird to think that someone would be connected to her. So you have this wedding registry, which we really don't know if it's true or not.
Gee whiz, it's jumping around like no man's business, no man's land. It's like she's in a boat with no paddles. I've done so many rolls this morning. I just lost down the hall and out the door.
We have this pumpkin that says Katie on it. Then there's this random photo that shows up, and it's from Magnolia. They're all outside, and Jeremiah is standing very close to a girl with long brown hair, which happens to be the same sort of long brown hair that Katie has. Definitely not.
Oh no, he's standing next to a girl. I thought they weren't allowed near each other.
Not the same long brown hair that Lauren has. Lauren is a blonde. So is Jeremiah potentially courting Katie? Someone made a fake, like Katie and Jedediah registry to throw things off. And is Jim Bob then telling people that Jedediah is courting Katie to throw people off from him courting Lauren, engaged to Lauren? And in the middle of all of this, I know it's confusing, you guys, both Jed and Jeremiah have Instagram pages. Okay, so Jeremiah makes an Instagram page, makes his first post in February. Now, it's traditional that the boys typically will not have Instagrams until they're courting. That's not necessarily always true because Jason has one, but he has a company, so I think it's just an extension of his construction company. And then I know James has one too. So I don't know if James was courting someone or not. But anyways, Jeremiah has an Instagram account. Jed has one. Jed is dating someone. Jess has alluded to the fact that he has a honey. There's now this rumor that he's engaged to Lauren. And now this Katie person is showing up out of nowhere. So who is with who? I don't know. Jim Bob is insisting the wedding is happening in April. Who is getting married? I don't know. And who did it up?
Maybe they're going to turn it into a... No, she didn't. Maybe they're going to turn it into a game show of The Bachelor, and they have all these. They just dwindle down, and they just pick whoever's last standing. This is a lie because all the boys over 18 have an IG account. I watched the guy today. It's half KJ subs, mow her lawn for 20 minutes and get 10 times the views. She needs to change content, says Peter Hine. I'm glad my son attends an all-boys school, the relief. I know.
Is marrying. I don't know whether it's Lauren or whether it's this Katie girl or whether Jeremiah is dating this Katie girl. That I don't know either. Could there be a double Duggar wedding? Maybe. I don't know. But this is really sneaky, and I wouldn't put it past any of them to have this whole thing be a big diversion for Jim Bob to be able to cover up that Jed and Lauren are together. You know, who knows? Anyways, and then some of you guys have suggested that there might be a reason why Lauren hasn't said anything or the Caldwells because of the way it looks of her having been engaged to someone and then quickly going to someone new. Like the appearance of that from the Duggars' perspective, it might look questionable. Again, I don't know. All of this is speculation, but something weird is going on. There are two boys that have relationships, and we don't know who they're with. The rumor is, according to the source that the son spoke to, that he's engaged to Lauren, and the person I spoke to says it's a girl in Arizona, and the wedding registry that is maybe fake or maybe real says it's a girl from Arizona. So figure it out. Tell me what you think, and leave me some comments below. Bye, guys.
She's had 21,000 views on that video. 21,000 views. Oh, she's added to it. Look at this. She's added to it. Someone says, this hot mess is to cover up Anna's birth. All right. A source tells her, yeah. So it's really bizarre, isn't it? All right. I'm just going to put, the lawnmower. He had 320,000 views. Wow. So let's see. So someone here has said, counting on viewers, seemingly confirmed Jedediah is getting married. What was really interesting, actually, is I don't know about other TV people when it comes to Duggars and the other Fundy family, is people pick through everything obsessively. Yes, they do. That's a lot of disappointed people. That's a lot of disappointment people. Yeah. So this was the Sun's article, and I'm gonna put it here just so that you can have a read of it because you heard her recap of it, but that's not what the Sun article said. Was he nude? All right. So I don't want to make this, I didn't want this to make this a long stream because I'm on mobile internet. So I don't really want to be using up all my stuff. So I'm going to head off and we're going to leave it there. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully I'll have my internet all back up and running tomorrow. So that's from the Sun. That's where the initial story came from. And I'll catch it all later. If anyone is subscribed to that Doobie Pink Floyd hippie chick, they released some new videos today. Oh, look, why not? Why don't we end up with just one? Why don't we finish with one? We'll do this one. Taddy Westbrook had a farm. This one's called. All right. We'll end on this. That's all right. You're just going to get started now. Oops.
Just cool with the animal. Just chilling on the farm. Come on. And on this farm, we had it up. With a crack, crack here and a crack, crack there. A crack everywhere. Crack,
Oh, so anyway, that's yeah. So I thought that was a good way to end. Yes, I saw that True Wax showed the wedding registry, but as I said, I saw that as well. I don't really know anything about any of that. Oh look, I'm a little bit I'm a little bit bored with her as well, but it's just I still can't believe that there's so many people watching. Anyway, that is hippie Duggar. Oh, I know. I just closed it. Let me. I will again. Let me just put a link in for you. She's only got really small. Where is it? Only got small number of subs, so it'd be really good to boost up this. It was hippie Pink Floyd. Let me just pull it up again. Where's my history? My computer's now not loading, but it would be the internet. That's it. Doobie Pink Floyd hippie chick. That's it. Thank you, Kristen. Yeah, so search up there and make sure you sub, and then you can watch them all. There's heaps there. There's another one as well. But you know what happens when I play them on here? I get that yellow to say your video cannot be monetized, and I go, that's okay, because I'm not monetized. So I just like the laugh. Anyway, I'll catch you tomorrow.